Hello, everybody. So I've been looking forward to this interview. You've heard me talk about it all day. I am joined by Josh and Sar from Olinda. Now, I know Josh very well. First time chatting with Sar off air here. Hello, both of you. Welcome to the show today. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Josh, Sar, how's your day going? Let's start off with that right away.
I'm going good. I just woke up not too long ago, so.
Mine is good. I woke up hours ago. I'm just working from home.
Hours ago, yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, no, thank you so much for both joining me here today. The more the merrier. We're just missing Pete, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Olinda. Let's talk about the name. Let's talk about when all you got together. Did anybody join late, or was it the three of you from the very get-go? And when was Olinda founded?
Okay, well, I'll tackle the name part. The name, like, typically, like anyone who does this stuff, like, we had a hard time coming up with a name at first, and we don't usually care about the name that much. But there's just this place, it's called Olinda. It's kind of right outside of Cottam, around Leamington in the county. Like a small little, almost like a ghost town that we kind of had some experience with. Just, it was always like a growing up, because both me and Pete are from Essex. So it kind of all had this like kind of ghost towny lure to it. So we just decided to go with that. We thought it kind of fit the vibe of the band well.
Very nice. And did all you join at one time, or did anybody come later?
So
Yeah, start off with you two. So
yeah, like me and Pete have known each other since we were like in grade school. So we've known each other for a long time, always making music together. So this is almost like a new iteration of what we've been doing for about 15 years at this point. And yeah, we played some shows, wrote some music, and then we met Zar. And Zar, if you want to tell.
Yeah, so I moved to Windsor from Alberta around like 2016. I met these guys later, like 2018-ish, around the scene. And, yeah, I watched them play a few times. I think there were a few sort of shows where it was just a duo. I think it was at, like, Art Site, just more DIY spaces. And, yeah, I don't know. There was one time we were all hanging out, and they were showing me, like, this more synthy, glassy, kind of wintry song, and they were just thinking of, like, writing a Christmas song.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I don't know. I was like, oh, send it to me, whatever. Like, they didn't know I played any music, whatever. I took a bit of a break. And then, yeah, I don't know. A few times I drove around in the car and just I just wrote a few lines without permission and then brought it to them. And then that was it. I think I was only meant to be on, like, a bit of a feature. I wasn't really ready to kind of, like, get involved with the band. And then, yeah, we performed with, like, Psychic Void, I think a couple months. Was that a year later?
Yeah, that was the first time it was like the track that she had done a vocal part for, which when we heard it, we were like, oh, this is great. Like, this is amazing. And so we had her perform with us live, and I think we kind of just clicked with the three of us. We were like, oh, okay, this is sick. Like, I like how this feels, the three of us live. And kind of went from there, and then got her more involved in everything, and here we are.
Did some of the artwork, kind of curating this idea of Olinda on Instagram and just being a bit of a troll, and then that's it.
Well, the artwork is phenomenal for all the singles and, Instagram, your logo, whatnot. The artwork is phenomenal. You're the mastermind behind all that, Zar?
Yeah, I said, like, I've had some help here and there. I'll do a little shout out with Shane Gobert. And there's also a t-shirt. Shout out. We have a Bandcamp. We have merch, by the way. That's also online. Thanks to Pete's wife, Cynthia, as well. So yeah, it's a group effort, and obviously there's also a lot of writing that happened to just bring in this whole project. Thanks to Kieran Owen as well. So it's a big team effort.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who get involved.
A lot of it's bigger than just us three for sure. I think it really highlights everybody's strengths in some ways, and yeah, it just kind of came together when the single came out. So it's pretty magical. Yeah.
It is magical. The music's great. You go from anywhere sounding like it could be, the Smiths of the 80s going into the 90s, like Slippy, Born Underworld kind of thing. I love the music. I love it.
Mhm.
I love the
Oh,
music.
thanks.
It's fantastic. Like, how do you record this kind of stuff? Do you use a drum machine? What kind of effects do you use to achieve all these different sounds you got going on?
Well, we can't tell you, man. Sorry. No, it started out with mostly hardware, so like actual physical, like synths and drum machines and things like that. Using even like guitar effects pedals, mixers, kind of to write the tracks. I was using like a really old sequencer from the 90s, an old Roland sequencer, to arrange a lot of the stuff. And so the earlier tracks, especially the ones I think we've already put out, kind of have that analog sound to them. But where we are now, we've transitioned completely to doing pretty much everything in the box in a DAW with software and that, just because, I don't know, it just makes life so much easier.
Life's so much easier and probably a little cleaner of a sound if it's over software.
Yeah, I mean, like we do record in an actual studio. Shout out to Josh Kaiser, who's been recording us. Also Rob Maslanka in the past. But so we do like get I think a very good sound through what they can do for us. But it's just like using computers and everything, the like amount of possibilities that you can make with the sound. And I mean, we'll still bring out like an actual synth every now and then, but just being able to compose, I find that way is much easier too.
I'd say like the heart of it is still in like hardware though. I think like, the methods that I watch like Klein arranging like is totally from his, I don't know what it is, but there's just like a multi-instrumentalist like attitude towards more like, I mean, he plays drums. I don't know. He plays a lot of instruments and I really see that shine, I think, in the way that he works. Mind you, it's like probably this like 4 a.m. track that he's sending in. And I'm like, what? But Pete and I will like wake up. It's like, oh, okay, there's like new stems. Like, what's this right? So, just piggybacking off that comment, it's mostly done remotely, kind of. Like, we just share a lot with each other, more like influences, kind of what we're listening to. And then we'll come together, practice, and then, I don't know, write some stuff in the studio, and then like on our own time just kind of carve out, the things that we're obviously more familiar with, whether that's writing, arranging, or with Pete was doing some guitar, and then just kind of throwing that into the studio and then tweaking it. But I feel like that's kind of how we're approaching it lately.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So it's safe to say you do record pretty much everything in the studio, but you use some software maybe to edit things a little bit and add certain sounds as well?
Yeah, like when we're going into the studio, the song's pretty much done. So when we're going into the studio, we're just handing over like stems, audio files, the things that we recorded. And then obviously Pete's guitar gets live recorded in the studio setting. But like for the most part, like the writing and all the actual meat of the track has already been done, and then it's just getting remixed and fine-tuned and leveling and adding some effects maybe that we wanted to change up here and there. And the vocals too obviously are recorded in the studio as well. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, Josh, Sarah, we're going to play a song, Reverie, here. I hadn't heard this song yet. Josh told me just this morning that he wanted me to play this, and sitting here listening to it, it is my favorite Olinda song that I've heard so far, and I've heard a few. It really is. I love the way it sounds. Can you both kind of quickly take me through what this song means to you? Is it both similar to each other, or do you both kind of have something different what it means to you?
I'll let you speak on this one.
Okay. Well, I don't know. This song is actually fairly old in terms of like when I wrote the like the majority of it, even though it's just the newest track we put out. So it definitely kind of reminds me of that time in life. And so there's like a nostalgia to it. And I don't know. I think like there is a lot of influences that are very specific to this track, especially like I love Pete's guitar line in this song. I think
he's got a great
one of my
solo.
favorite parts. Very Stone Roses-y, like It's great. It's got a great sound, and it also kind of mixes like a bit of a Detroit electronic vibe to it too, which I like, the combination of those two things.
Yeah, and he's got a great solo in this song, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Czar? What's this song like to you?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I got involved. They recorded this one. This one was pretty much mastered before I became involved, but I could speak to maybe like how I feel about it.
Exactly.
And, like, how someone like pulling from like the artwork and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about like a dreamscape about it. There's something that feels familiar but yet new. So yeah, I feel like I could really hear both Peter and Josh's influences in this song, because like for me personally, like I think writing a pop song for me, like the formula in there is like, I'm not too familiar with how I write in that sense, but like you can really see how the layers in the song shine, and like, yeah, I don't know, the pacing of it is like really beautiful. And yeah, I hear the same thing from many people who listen to that song. So,
well,
yeah.
It is phenomenal. I just heard it this morning. So I'm very excited to play it here on the Burg. Reverie Olinda. I'm going to let the music do its part here.
Yeah, that's one.
Oh, yes. That's such a great song. Well done, Josh. Great lyrics. I love the way it's composed. You were telling me that this is an older song, though?
Yeah, it's a bit older. It was just an instrumental that I had written. So pretty much all the backing tracks I put together. And then that was before me and Pete were even jamming. And then once Pete got a hold of it, he put the guitar track down. And then, yeah, that was like kind of one of the precursors to getting the band going, was like a few of those older tracks and being like, okay, we got something here, something new that we can try out.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you have a show on December 6th, you were telling me, over in Detroit?
We do, yeah.
Talk to me about
at the Lager House.
Lager House. Have you ever played there before?
We have, yeah. We played there with our good friends, the Johnsonsons. The Johnsonsons.
The Johnsonsons.
Yeah.
Very nice. So you're pretty familiar with Detroit, eh?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part, yeah. I mean, Lager House is a great venue. It's been around for a long time. Great layout to it. Yeah, it's a cool spot.
We'll play more.
Yeah, for sure.
Venues.
So, ever since I started this job, Josh, we were talking about this. I said this to you on Saturday there, learn a bit about the music scene and the Windsor music scene. And it's great. There's a lot of bands out there. You've been doing this for a while, Olinda. I think they're one of the hottest acts right now in the Windsor music scene. Can you talk to me what it's like to be in the Windsor music scene and being one of these, top bands? Are there anybody that looks up to you, comes to you for advice at all?
I mean, the Windsor music scene is pretty diverse for the size of the city that it is. The Windsor music scene is very rich, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, we definitely have our kind of niche in the scene that we operate in, but
it's a big niche.
There's
that's
so
for
many
sure.
groups. I know we were talking about some of, even just going back in time, we were talking about some of the older punk bands,
Yes.
the New Enemies and Spies and stuff like that. Even just stuff like that. It's just so cool to see how it's always changing. And right now, I feel like there's a big turnover and sort of the young kids getting their stuff going and seeing the newer acts that are coming out. It's pretty cool to see.
Yes. Czar, when you moved here, what did you think of the Windsor music scene?
I mean, it took me a while. Obviously, my first introduction was Fog.
Of course, classic.
And that was actually from a few people I think it was a few musicians from Edmonton that had told me about that place. Yeah, so that was interesting. I feel like it took me a while to really find my people, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, I would say it is quite diverse. I think what's difficult maybe for artists here is the proximity to, say, Montreal or Toronto. It's your mindset. I don't know. I feel like you really have to consider that you can exist beyond this place as well. and also not allow like a small city to define who you are. And I feel like, there are artists here that kind of recognize that and kind of think beyond that. But I will say, like, for us, our influences are certainly from Detroit side for sure. And like even with Pete, his jazz background and interest in jazz kind of bleeds through. I forgot the question. Sorry, I'm like zoning out.
No.
What did you ask?
Do you need
The region. Oh yeah, my thoughts on Windsor Tea. Yeah, I don't know. It's quite rich. I feel like you also have to like choose to look for it too. Like there's something for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, we got a good variety here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Very nice. And Olinda, being one of the biggest acts right now for the last little bit, you do get exposure. You're talking about Toronto, Montreal. Well, how about overseas? Olinda, Dreams in Transit. Talk to me about this. You woke up one morning or during the day and you found out you were on BBC Six?
We did a little. No, we're a bit strategic. I mean, we have.
For some of us, it was like that.
We like cold call. For me personally, like those Kieran and I just like would write emails to people like submitting singles. Again, that's the thing where it's like it's your mindset. It's just like, okay, I know this can just move a little bit beyond this area, and like we know that like this would be interest. Like there would be peak interest in this track in the UK, and so like there's I don't know, there's shows that I feel like are open to listening to new music, i.e. Deb Grant, who Kieran kindly submitted an email showing that single. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, what you described was kind of for me because I wasn't really aware.
Again, doing it without permission.
I wasn't really aware that was going on. So it was pretty much me just waking up, being told that our tracks were going to be played on certain things like that, and it's awesome to see. Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things where it doesn't hurt to just try. Like I guess maybe because I didn't have much attachment to the band yet, or just in general, if you don't have too much of attachment, you could kind of like whatever, chuck it out and like see what sticks. And so like there's like promoters or like certain radio stations, and then like Spotify curators would just like pick this up as well, and like online magazines. Because to me, I feel like if it's listenable and interesting, I don't think you should pay to be featured on something. Yes. I think that's poo-poo and gross, but whatever. That's just good taste.
I completely agree. I'm very excited. We're going to play Dreams in Transit as well. If the BBC can play it, we certainly are going to play it here at the Burg. So without further ado, I'm going to let the music do the talking once again. It's Dreams in Transit, Olinda on the Burg. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the interview with Josh and Czar of Olinda. That was Dreams in Transit, another fantastic song of theirs. Both of you, like, phenomenal job. Like, everything about Olinda, I love. I love the names of songs. You got the Chalice as well, Our Secret Garden. The artwork is phenomenal. It kind of gives me medieval vibes a little bit, like the Chalice, Our Secret Garden. The artwork on Our Secret Garden as well in Dreams in Transit. And I love World Within the artwork. It's very soccer in North America inspired, which I love. Josh and I play soccer, in case anybody didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
No, it's a vibe, and it's a great one. I love everything. Love everything about Olinda. I got some rapid fire questions for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so since Olinda started, and obviously, Josh, this one may be a little different for you, but because maybe you performed a show when Czar wasn't in the band that stood out. But what's been your favorite show that you've performed so far?
I'd say two come to mind. One was at Craft Heads with a bunch of punk bands, including Psychic Void.
That was sick.
That was a very fun one. And then I'd say the first time we played Montreal was a great show as well.
Very nice.
Playing in front of that crowd was really fun.
Very nice. How about you, Czar?
I would say probably that opening for Forever Grey was really fun. Both the Montreal and Toronto shows were a bit like a reality check where it's like, oh, okay, like there are people that are here to actually also see us in a weird way. Actually, wait, okay. We opened for Nuevo Testamento with the Not Dead Yet. It's one of these punk promoters, and that was like a sweaty show. I got thrown up in the air, and then I was somehow crowd surfing up on many hands. So it was fun.
So fun memory right there. What's the dream venue to perform in one day? Hopefully, anywhere. You can choose anywhere.
Dream venue.
Yes, the dream venue one day.
Oh man,
That's hard.
yeah, that's tough.
No, many.
Yeah.
Something that's like small enough, but can pack it.
Think big. Think big.
Think this. Oh,
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be fun to get a taste of the festival circuit, maybe just once,
yeah.
just to see what it's like.
Yeah, I'll go with that out there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like a
Something
big,
else.
Maybe something in like the UK or something like that.
so good big music festival over in the UK. Totally understand.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
wild over there.
Something like that.
They're wild over there. I love it. Final rapid fire question for you, if for both of you. If you could perform a song on stage with a band or artist, living or dead, band broken up, member dead, whatever the case may be, what song, what band or artist are you choosing to do?
Yeah, man, these are
Rapid fire.
tough.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm too slow for that.
I love to hear it. I love to hear that I'm asking the tough questions.
Yeah. Excuse me. I would go with. I mean, there's so many, but I would go with like early '90s Oasis. I'd love to just like.
Oh, great.
Be on
Great
stage with
answer.
that mayhem.
Man, I might have to steal this or borrow this from these guys, but like maybe Pet Shop Boys would be funny.
Yeah, that would be
Pet Shop
cool.
Boys as well. They were really big as well there in the mid 80s, early to mid 80s, going into the late 80s even. That's a great answer too. Well, that was phenomenal. The first time we've gotten the Stone Roses and Pet Shop Boys as someone that they'd love to perform with for Dream Show, which is awesome. So I love the answers. Josh, Czar, thank you so much for joining me today on the Midday Music and More Show's Music Monday. It's been phenomenal to have you on. Look forward. Hopefully we can come over December 6th to Detroit for a show. But best of luck with your continued success. I know you're going to get bigger, which is always the best. And look forward to seeing both of you again very, very soon. Haven't met Czar yet, but very nice to meet you over the phone, Czar.
Maybe see you on the 6th.
Yeah. See you on the 6th. Yeah, thanks so much, man.
Awesome. No problem at all.
Take care.
Cheers. That's Olinda, everybody. Josh and Czar from Olinda. Cheers.